Now, hear what I'm going to say. I would like to take my topic as like plantain farming, the forefathers' perspective. Plantain farming, the forefathers' perspective. Here are some ideas that our forefathers were having then when they were into plantain cultivation. Now, number one, new plantain farming doesn't last more than 3 to 4 years, and after which the yield starts going down. Forefathers, forefathers, forefathers. Well, they are no longer here. I would have been the one to sue them to court. They said after farming for 4 years, 3 to 4 years, the plantain will no longer be yielding again as it ought to be. Therefore, relocate the farm to a new place so that you can have new yield. That is why people that is where people had the idea of new farm. New farm. Is your plantain from new farm? Are you just bringing this plantain from new farm? Where do you harvested your plantain? Oh, new farm, new farm, new farm. When I started plantain farming, I never heard of new farm until I started selling my plantain in the market. Some of them were now saying that was when I heard much of forefathers' idea or perspective in plantain cultivation. New plantain farming doesn't last more than 3 to 4 years, and after which the yield starts going down. So it's no longer big anymore. Whereas even some farming that you plant in just 1 year, you see the yield very meager, small. It's like that. There are some farms that produce very small yield, even at first farm. There are some other farms that produce big yield after 10 years. So forefathers' idea, you will hear the truth about what the cause of whether your yield is small or it's large. Number two, new farm produces big yield, while old farm produce small yield. I'm not talking about how long the duration it lasts. Now, once it is called new farm, every mentality of new farm produce big yield. Mentality of small new old farm produce small yield. New farm produce big yield. New farm produce big yield. Old farm produce small yield. That is our forefathers' mentality of plantain cultivation. This is very, it is a backward way of thinking. Old farm produces. What about when I started farm? My first harvest was very small, but it was a new farm. My first harvest was very small in a new farm. Go to my old farm. How many years of farm? Go there. You bring out large plantains from the new farm. So what happened along the line? Number three, the wider plantain spacing is, the bigger the yield. If the plantain spacing is just 2 feet, the yield is very small. But if the plantain spacing is 20 feet apart, or 40 feet apart, or 50 feet apart, the wider the spacing, the bigger the yield. They will tell you, once plantain stem is receiving fresh air, it will start producing large. Therefore, create space for your plantain so that it will produce large for you, so that air will touch it. The wider the space, the bigger the yield. So if you want your yield to be as long as just one finger, to be as long as this cutlass, 2 feet, then if 1 feet, you want to be, if when it was 1 feet, the spacing was about 10 feet apart. Now to get 2 feet yield of a finger plantain, space it to 20 foot apart. To get 4 yield, space it to 40 feet apart. Now to get 100 lengths, that is just one finger of plantain. To have it 100 lengths, I mean the fruit, to have it 100 lengths, then space your plantain into 200 feet apart. I love our forefathers mentality, which many farmers are still using in this contemporary plantain farming age. I laugh at you for using that mentality. Those who are still subscribing to the old farming pattern or the old understanding of plantain farming, I urge you to step back. Watch this video and start doing the right farming. Number 4, plantain planted at the back of house usually become very large. They call it in Benin Ogedi Yekowa. Plantain planted at the back of the house, it usually become very large. Now, hear what came to my mind when I heard it for the first time. Before I started planting, I never heard such statements. But it was after I started cultivating plantain farming, I was now hearing that plantain that you planted at the back of the house or close to the house, it usually become very large. And because I am the kind of person that thinks too much, I think every word. I try to reason what people are saying and see how I can apply it. I started thinking, okay, what is the essence of house to plantain? Is it that around the house there are too much oxygen and carbon dioxide? You breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, CO2. So too much carbon dioxide around the house. That is the reason why plantain yield is big. Or is it because they normally throw away dirty? No, I never thought of compost manure. I was thinking of human interference. Since it's a house, they name such eventuality to human house. Ogedi Yekowa. That is back of house. If it's Ogedo Dawowa, it can't be big. If it's Ogede Ugbefonwa, it can't be big until it is Ogedi Yekowa. What I just said is that if it is at the front of house, the plantain can never be big. If it's at the side of house, it can never be big. But if it's at the back of house, the plantain will become large. I think anytime I'm going to farm, I say, how do I make my farm back of house farm? Should I start building houses around the farm? I now say, oh, it's unfortunate. There are no houses around my farm. So does that mean that my plantain will not be big? This was my fear as I was going into plantain farming. I now said, okay, because my banana which I used in starting, which was the reason why I came to cultivate a plantain farm, because it was at my house. That is the reason why those banana was big. I started noticing all manner of thoughts came to my mind. So I was thinking, how do I do this now? What do I do? So I should just bear it. All right, let me go ahead and bear what I am seeing. I have started. Number 5, plantain farming does not require much weeding. Just do slashing, you will get what you want. Just slash. Once your grass is growing in your plantain farm, slash. That is, don't clear to the earth, don't clear to the ground. Just cut top, and leave there. Where you spend more time is cassava farming, your maize farming, your cucumber farming, your watermelon farming, your other farming. That's where you spend more time. When you get to plantain farm, just slash and leave there. Don't worry. Go back when you are ready to cut. Your plantain will be large. This is what I was taught. It is very, very heartbreaking. Number 6, plantain does not do well because someone has committed forbidden thing in the community where it was planted. This is very, very annoying. Somebody has committed atrocities, forbidden things. Somebody has crossed the line, and because of that, plantain do not do well. These are some mindsets that our forefathers were having those days. When they see plantain in the market, they can tell you the cause why that plantain is big or why that plantain is small. They can tell you. they can tell you why that plantain is big or why that plantain is small. So they will name it, they will name it after all of these ideas, all of these notions, all of these lies of our forefathers. And you are still doing your farming with our forefathers, mentality, our forefathers idea. The earlier you quit, the better. Write on the comment section, the earlier you quit, the better. Our forefathers know less, they don't know better. You are talking about wisdom of Solomon. Why don't you talk about wisdom of Ambitious 5-star? Wisdom of Omori, Ephraim Omorodion? Why don't you talk about the contemporary wisdoms that discovers and make research in farming, plantain farming, and get the right farming yield from them? Yes, these are my plantain. I'm in my farm. For those who said you don't do video in your farm, I am in my farm. These are my plantain. See them? See my plantain? See that one? That's my plantain. These are my plantain. I'm in my farm now. So what do you want to tell me? What do you have to tell me? Please come. What do you have to tell me? Plantain does not do well because somebody has committed crime. Somebody has committed crime in the land. That's the reason why the plantain is not doing well. So therefore, to make your plantain do well in that land or in that community, you have to go and appease the gods. The gods my foot. You have to go and appease the gods. That is what they say. For the plantain to yield in that land, you have to go and appease the gods. The reason why the plantain is not doing well is because there is force. Somebody has done forbidden thing in that land. So for the plantains to not start doing well, they should go and appease the land so that your plantain can start doing well. I wonder the mentality that our people are having. It's so annoying. Okay, let's pass on. It's so annoying. That's the reason why most farmers are down. So because they have already subscribed to that idea or to that mentality, because they have subscribed to that mentality, they just think that that is the last resort to make their plantain becomes big. And now hear this. Many have tried to subscribe and try to practice that way, yet they remain down in their plantain and investments. They never think of moving forward. So at the end, they will start telling you there is no profit in plantain. They won't remember that they have been practicing what they were told or what they have learned. They won't remember. They will start telling you there is no profit in plantain. That is the problem. That is where the problem lies. They will start telling you there is no profit in plantain farming. They never remember that from the very day they started the plantain farming, first, they listened to the forefathers' mentality idea. They subscribed to it and they started working based on the idea that the forefathers gave to them. That was what they were working with. Then after which, they will tell you there is no profit in plantain farming. I want to tell you that there is profit in plantain farming. Yeah, 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 yeah. There is profit in plantain farming. Yes, 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 yeah.